What's up, good people, and welcome back to another episode of our investigative Welcome to Sweetie Pie series, where we look back on old episodes to reminisce, reflect, and fact find to see clues that lead us to where we are with the pending trial to get justice for Andre. Now, I know it's been quite a while since I've done one of these videos. The truth of the matter is I actually recorded this episode a month ago along with another episode, and there was no audio when I was editing the videos. So I'm basically redoing this, and yeah, it took me a little while to be motivated to redo two videos that I went all the way through recording. That wasn't fun. And I'm also actually in a new recording space, so I'm noticing as I'm talking that I'm hearing a little echo. I'm hoping it's not too bad on this recording. We'll try to work with it, and I'll try to improve it for future videos. But anyway, this review is of Season 2, Episode 12, which was titled Highballs and Lowballs. This episode originally aired on December 15th of 2012, which means the filming for this was done in either late 2011 or early 2012. So this would be approximately 2 years before Tim took out the life insurance policies on Andre. So this episode starts with Miss Robbie picking up Andre from high school, and she goes into sharing how he ended up moving in with her.
Is my grandson. He's 17 years old. This year I decided I would let him come and live with me. Now I got the responsibility of taking him to school, making sure he gets up, eat, dress properly. It's like I'm a mom all over again.
And she also shared the problems with Andre moving in with her.
I've been ready to send Andre back to Texas almost since the first day he got here. I mean, he was supposed to be trying to do better. This was an opportunity for him. He's been kicked out of school. He's late for school. He's got a bad attitude problem. I'm ready to tell him to hit the road, Jack.
And Miss Robbie was actually putting a lot of effort into helping Andre out in really the most pivotal moment of his life, where he was transitioning from high school to young adulthood. And so she was putting a lot of effort in to set him up for success. And as we saw in a previous recap episode, Ms. Robbie had hired a therapist to mentor and guide Andre through some of the struggles that he was having. And in this episode, she was also trying to get him back on track so that he would be able to graduate from high school on time. So she hired a tutor as well.
Come on in. Hey, Dre.
Hello.
Dre.
How you doing, Mr. Bussy?
You know your tutor's coming in a few minutes if she ain't already here. Even though Andre is working with Dr. Harris, his therapist, I got him a tutor to help him with his schoolwork.
And Andre wasn't feeling this tutor because she wasn't a young tenderoni. And I just thought about it, I'm aging myself by using that term, because nobody says that anymore. So then Miss Robbie says that she hired this professional tutor because when she left it up to Andre to find himself a tutor, he ends up picking a young girl from his school who he basically was flirting with, and so she knew that no studying was really going on with that. And once again, Miss Robbie was hip to game because that's exactly what Andre was on.
When I first sat down with my tutor, I'm like, she's not my type. She not my age. I can't flirt with this tutor.
And as we saw in the previous episode reviews, Andre was really struggling in school due to the years of lack of educational support that he needed. So basically by this time, he had shut down on education like many young people in his situation.
I don't like homework. I don't like working with calculators and math. I don't like using my brain for school at all.
And I love this tutor because she was not playing with Andre. And I think she was given just the right amount of tough love and nurturing that Andre needed at that time.
We're gonna work together, but you have to be willing to meet with me because I'm very serious about what I do. I'm very serious about you getting educated, okay? And I don't play around with what I do. This is serious business. So you have to be committed.
And we can see here that Miss Robbie was really determined to give Andre the best chance at life that she possibly could because she was pouring a lot of resources into his success. I just wish Tim had felt the same way.
Why, you little maggot! You make me want to vomit!
But on the other side, during this brief moment in time, Andre did have a mentor in his therapist, Dr. Harris. His therapist, Dr. Harris, had arranged to meet Andre at the local park so that he could run football drills with him. Dr. Harris used that time to bond with Andre through football while having conversation to help him work through his challenges. And during this session with Dr. Harris, Andre actually admitted that he does shut down and run away from challenges.
I'm really looking forward to see Dr. Harris again because, one, I was able to do some drills for somebody. 2, I was able to talk to him. 3, I was kind of looking up to him like a mentor.
Andre said that he really looked forward to the next time he would see Dr. Harris. And Miss Robbie was actually very happy with the progress that Andre was making with Dr. Harris as well.
That Andre is busy with Dr. Harris, his therapist. He seems uplifted.
Now, on a brighter note from Miss Robbie, during this episode, she also got the good news that she had finally received a liquor license for the bar located at the Upper Crust location.
Up here, I got good news, though. Guess what? What?
What is it?
Hey.
Let's see. Was everything the alcohol and tobacco
liquor
control license?
All right.
Hey, we ready to party now.
And as we see here, Miss Robbie was definitely determined to get that loan paid off. She wasn't thinking like, let me continue to make payments. I just want to be able to make my payments. She wanted to pay that loan off. And it makes me wonder, was it 15 years later? I don't know the timeline off the top of my head right now. It's escaping me. But it's over a decade. So yes, no, or it's about a decade that this restaurant's been open. Yes, maybe about a decade. But I wonder if she's paid off the restaurant by now. That would be interesting to know if she's paid off the Upper Crust. Because we know that, you know, there's some issues with potential eminent domain. So it would be interesting to know if she'll have all of that outright. Like if she does have to sell it, that she'll just have all that money. But anyway, back to the bar. So Miss Robbie's next issue after getting the liquor license was how was she going to staff the bar? And thankfully for her, she actually had a few people that were interested in the job.
Now I gotta call Monique.
All right, that's right, Monique.
Let
Let
her
her work
know
the
she gonna
bar.
see if she gonna bartend. We ready. I'm excited. I hope she ain't changed her mind. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good. I got good news.
Oh, good. What's that?
I got the liquor license. All right, you still gonna bartender?
I was just gonna ask you, do I still have a job? I'm ready to work.
Hey, you got a job.
All right.
I'm ready.
You decided Charles was gonna be doing bartending or not?
Well, I really. Why you have to bring up the
Right,
devil?
yeah.
Everything was going good until you mentioned Charles.
Now, originally, Monique, Janae, and Charles were all interested in working the bar when Ms. Robbie was working on getting her liquor license. Monique and Janae were both interested in working the bar to make a little extra money part-time and off the tips. However, Charles was actually trying to manage the bar as a full-time position for himself. But not surprisingly, Charles actually never finished bartending class and instead went there, got drunk, and never returned.
Charles went and took his bartending classes first, but if I remember, he drank more than he served. I don't like a drunk bartender.
Now, after Monique was extremely excited and accepted the position to work the bar, she had one conditional question for Ms. Robbie.
I'm just trying to make sure I don't work with him.
Oh,
Shame on you. That's your cousin, girl.
because
And actually, in an episode or so ago that I reviewed, Charles had actually been kicked out of Monique's house. So we know she wasn't blind when it came to the level of Charles's laziness.
Charles wants to be a bartender. I just can't believe that he's even entertaining the thought. He never does any job to the finish. I got him a fishing job. He didn't catch a fish. They tell me the fish hit him upside the head. Now, what do I want him bartending at my bar for? He doesn't know what he's doing.
But even with all of that complaining they were doing, Miss Robbie called Charles anyway. Because at the end of the day, we all know that Charles was everybody's baby on that show. And of course, upon finding out, Charles had his grand plan on how he was going to inch his way into managing the bar. Then we get to Janae, who I'm honestly hot and cold with depending on the episode. Monique goes to Janae's house. You know, the one Tim bought and never was able to move into? So Monique arrives and basically she's there to ask Janae if she's interested in working the bar with her now that Ms. Robbie has her liquor license.
Robbie called me and she said she got the license for the bar finally.
Oh, it's opening?
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely don't have any experience as a bartender. It's always something that I wanted to do. I mean, working a full-time job, it's not really that much fun. It's kind of monotonous, but being at the bar, getting to interact with the people and getting the extra money, it's great. Plus, I get to help out with Robbie, and I absolutely love her, so I would do anything to help her.
At that point, Monique's primary concern was if Janae was still interested in working at the bar because by this time she had broken up with Tim. And so Monique was thinking, hey, maybe she doesn't want to be at the restaurant because she might be running into Tim, et cetera, et cetera.
Just because I'm into it with Tim doesn't mean I'm not gonna help down at the restaurant. It's fine. And it's not like me and Tim are like into it to the point to where I'm not talking to him. I mean, he still comes, he still sees TJ and everything. We're just trying to figure everything out.
But at this time, Janae was still leaving the door cracked for reconciliation between her and Tim. She hadn't really completely given up on the relationship at this point. Now, what I really would have loved was to be a fly on the wall back then to really see where Tim really was mentally with Janae. Like, was he as torn about getting back with her as she might have been? Or was he kind of over it and just kind of manipulating the situation and manipulating her? Because at this point, we definitely know that he was going to the strip clubs and stuff. So I kind of wonder, he had gotten a taste of the single life. He was living alone. And we know he was going to the strip clubs. So I'm kind of wondering, like, was he torn between his love for her or living this single life? You know, he was going to the strip clubs and living alone, living this fancy-free life, living a bachelor life, basically. Was he literally torn when it came to that? Or was he just playing mental games with her just to hold her up so nobody else could have her? And I wonder, was this also around the time where he was hooking up with Terica occasionally, and probably other women too? And it's just really occurring to me, if Terica was a stripper or exotic dancer, a dancer, does that mean that Tim was paying her, like, when they were hooking up? Never mind, I already know the answer to that one.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Then we get back to the bar where it is now fully open, and Janae, Monique, and Charles are all running the bar while being trained by our professional mixologist. And the response from the customers was that Charles was actually doing a really good job. And Ms. Robbie had a shady response for that.
I was proud of Charles. Everybody said Charles is doing a great job. I guess he is. He spends most of his time in some bar.
Ms. Robbie was then saying that she really was hoping that the bar would be successful so that it would generate revenue and not be a failing venture that she just poured money into. Now, I don't recall ever seeing the bar stocked or even open the 2 occasions that I did visit the Upper Crust location. So, and that was years, that was years after the show was off the air. So obviously they closed the bar at some point. So maybe it wasn't profitable. I don't know, but it definitely wasn't open the times that I went there. And in her confessional, Ms. Robbie said, whether or not Janae and Tim end up in a relationship, Janae will always be family to her. And we know on some level that was true until August of 2020 when they had that fallout. No, it was, what was it, June or July? I think it was June or July of 2020 where they had that social media fallout. You know, they were close, I think, until that point. I do wonder, have they repaired their relationship in any way, especially because now we see that maybe some of Janae's actions around that time when she was being funny about TJ coming over and them having to come to her house. Now we kind of know why that might have been the case, because maybe she got a heads up on the fact that the FBI was after Tim. So hopefully, especially with Miss Robbie aging, that Janae has hopefully mended the situation with Miss Robbie, but I guess time will tell. Maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't. So then we get back to Charles, and Charles is basically saying that his real dream isn't to be a bartender, but he really, really wants to be an actor. But he did admit that he has allowed fear of commitment to block him from pursuing it seriously. Then we get to the part of the episode that still applies current day.
Hey, TT, you seen this news clip?
What news clip?
The clip about sweetie pies?
Nope.
The John Cochran VA Medical Center may be expanding soon. The facility is looking into a project that would increase the size of the location by 60%. Currently, one obstacle to the VA hospital's plan is local restaurant Sweetie Pie's Upper Crust, which stands in the middle of the planned construction zone. The proprietor of Sweetie Pies claims to have had no contact with the VA regarding the matter.
We then find out for the first time that the VA hospital is planning to expand their campus by 60%, and the Upper Crust location is in the path of that expansion because it's literally right in front of the VA hospital.
Even though the VA wants to buy me out, they don't realize this is my dream. I prayed for this to come through. This is my family's business. This is my legacy. Right, they ain't finna buy me out long as hard as I worked and everything. What I look like? I worked hard and prayed and everything else. They ain't finna just come in here and buy me out like that. This is my dream. I'm planning on staying in there. I want to leave it for my family. The VA's not gonna take care of my family. I'm not selling. I'm gonna fight to the end. I got my baseball bat.
Ms. Robbie then talks to Mr. Bussey to get more clarification on the situation. Mr. Bussey then explains to Ms. Robbie that the government could use eminent domain to take possession of her property, but they usually don't like to go that route. And if they did, it would really take a lot of time and effort for them to do so. Now, this was back in 2012 or late 2011 again when this was recorded. So we know for a fact that the Upper Crust location is still there and operating. But at the point of this particular episode, the VA had offered Ms. Robbie $1 million. And by that time, she said she already had nearly $4 million invested in the Upper Crust location for the build out and everything she did to get it up and running. Ms. Robbie, Mr. Bussey, and Tim then go on to discuss how disappointing the whole situation is. And Mr. Bussey tries to give a little bit of comfort by saying that the process would take at least 3 years for them to be able to do anything with the Upper Crust location. And now we definitely see that Mr. Bussey knew what he was talking about. That also makes me wonder, where is Mr. Bussey? Is he still around? Like, I haven't seen him. I feel like in the last 2 or 3 seasons, we didn't really see Mr. Bussey. I could be totally wrong, but we'll know when I get to those episodes. But I feel like Mr. Bussey kind of waned or disappeared after towards the end of the series. But comment below if you remember or even know his true whereabouts, if you're from the St. Louis area or actually know Mr. Bussey. Just let us know.
Thank you.
And because we know that Mr. Bussey was, very smart, and Ms. Robbie gave him credit for actually being the reason she was able to open up the Upper Crust location, because he had been a very great help to her. But anyway, at that time, Tim was saying that I guess we need to start looking for another location because the Upper Crust location took about 3 years for them to find that site and get it up and running. But Ms. Robbie wasn't having it.
No, I'm not.
Well, I mean, it took us 3 years to get this
That's
place
what
up
I'm
and running.
saying.
So
I'm
if we
gonna
got
sit right here and fight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit right here and fight my battle. I fought for this. I ain't finna go down that easy. I don't believe the VA has a leg to stand on. So I'm not planning on looking for no place to move. I'm staying right here.
Now, if you want more information on the whole VA hospital expansion and the possible eminent domain of the Upper Crust location, I did a whole video dedicated to that topic and read through the document and gave all the details. So I will link that above if you are interested in taking a look at that video just to get more insight into what is going on current day with the VA expansion project and the fate of the Upper Crust location. So back to this episode. In the last scene, Ms. Robbie was invited to be a guest speaker at the 2012 Governor's Conference on Economic Development for the Women's Entrepreneurial Award. Ms. Robbie began to tell her story. Ms. Robbie then went on to say how her nearly 50-year singing career was brought to an end by her collapsed lung. She said having to give up singing was a major defeat for her. She said coming back home to St. Louis, she just didn't know what to do. She didn't know if she should retire or what, because she said she had been singing her whole life. So she eventually became a dialysis nurse until she reached the salary cap for her level of education. And in order to make more money, she would have had to get a degree. But she said she couldn't afford school because she had to pay her rent. So she said to herself, what else can I do?
So everybody thought I was crazy. I tell people, I'm gonna open soul food. They like, ain't nobody eating no greasy food. You need to open a salad bar. Thank God I didn't.
She then went on to say,
I don't know how many of you believe in miracles or what, but one day.
She said she just wanted a little spot to run a restaurant out of, but they were all too expensive until one day she ran across a strip mall that had a for lease banner hanging off of the building. She said the landlord wanted $1,000 a month, which at the time she couldn't afford. So she asked how much lower could he go. He said $500, so she signed a lease and told him, I may be late, but I will never miss a month.
I went for all types of loans. Nobody gave me a loan. So what I did, I would work, buy me a table. I work, get $10 more, I'd buy a chair. I get $5 more, I buy a spoon. I just kept on.
She then said that she never thought that at the age of 72, she would be getting up every morning to run 3 different restaurants. She then goes on to say that she believes in if you push me, I'll pull you.
Sometimes my story feels like a fairy tale, When I go through all the things that I went through to get where I am, I try and instill that you need to have perseverance and you need to believe in yourself and go forward because this is your dream. Nobody believes it. Nobody thinks it's going to work. Only you. So stick to your gun, believe in yourself, and go for it.
And her speech was so inspiring, and it reminded me of a saying that I heard a long time ago where it said, struggle doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. So just because there's some hardship you're experiencing in pursuing your dreams, that is not a sign that you are on the wrong path and shouldn't be pursuing that dream and it's a pipe dream and all of that. That's not it. That's not it. Anything worth having is worth working hard for. And it actually made me think of the slogan that was actually on the governor's conference sign on this episode, which was easy to miss because it just went by in a flash. And it said, work, grow, prosper. And that's our goal, because a delay of your dreams doesn't mean denial. So with that, if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed as of yet, please take this time to subscribe below and join one of the most evolved subscriber families in these YouTube streets. Also, if you're already a part of the family or you're just a viewer and you ain't ready to commit like that, please still remember to like this video. Costs you nothing, but does a lot to help this channel grow. And also, do not forget that we have our VIP text community where you can direct message me, receive notifications of when I upload videos because we can't depend on YouTube for that anymore. And if you're a part of a VIP text community, you will also be qualifying for incentives that are coming up real soon. I'm working on some stuff. So with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.